Had this aircraft reached maturity, fulfilled its design goals, it may have delayed significantly, says me, that's all it is, an opinion, the outcome of World War II. We're looking at the Heinkel 177 from the German war machine, circa World War II. 1,169 of these aircraft were built. It first flew in 1939. It was online by 1942. And like a lot of these super cool, advanced technology, at least for the day, German weapon systems, it had problems. Namely, it was called the Reichsleiter because it caught on fire all the time. That's not a good thing. If you're a bomber crewman and you look out the left side and you see your #1 motor on fire, yeah, that happened a lot. I think this version was equipped with DB Daimler-Benz DB16, not 16, 610 engines. They had cooling problems. The nacelles were jacked up, I think. Maintenance wasn't great. Materials were probably substandard, and during flight, often, they would just, on their own, catch on fire. That's horrible. They call it, I don't know if I say this in German, the Reichsverzug, the Reichsleiter, Heinkel 177. We are lucky as the Allies, they didn't have this plane operating as intended, and a lot more of them, really. Because they would have had their own strategic bombing campaign. They would have bombed London with some effect, bombed Russia with some effect, and that's what this plane was designed for. Operation Barbarossa, or thereafter, bombing the industrial complex of the Russians, because they relocated all their tank manufacturing deep in the heart of Russia, and their Heinkel 111s couldn't reach it. They needed this plane. But yeah, when it's catching on fire, it can't really do its mission so well. Not so much. This is a 1:144 scale. I don't know the maker of this. I had a hard time finding any HE 177. If it was 1/72 scale, it would not fit on tabletop. These smaller models are much more preferred for tabletop. Excuse me. And this one, the loadout is as follows. I labeled it. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Not fancy. You label everything. We kind of like it. Okay, notice here, by the way. Look. This is another cool thing the Russians, not the Russians, the Germans do. 3 cannon. WTH, dude. So, unlike the Americans, they outfitted the HE 177 with a cannon, forward-facing. I don't remember if that's a 30 or 20 mil. It looks like a 30. I could look it up. 2 MGs right here. Dude, another cannon on that turret. A cannon in the tail barbette. What? Slower firing, but if they connect, a lot more damage than a machine gun, like a 50 cal Browning. Whether that Browning is shooting incendiary or not. Notice the 4-bladed prop, by the way, guys, and this is something you can watch for in World War II aircraft. What that's telling you is that that motor had a lot of power. In the design of the HE 177, they figured each motor had to put out at least 2,000 horsepower. These ones put out, as you can see on my sticker, 2975 each. But that's only when they're not on fire. If they're on fire, it's a lot less. 24 cylinder, liquid cooled. Oh man, I can't imagine being a crew member on that. And it really didn't have that much effect in the war, even though 1169 were made. Too late in the war to play an important role. And again, developmental problems the whole way. But man, it's a cool addition to our discussion about some cool planes. And once again, a failed German weapon system, lucky for the Allies. On we go with the tabletop review on a SOG knife. Now, I don't know what order I'm going to post these in. I've reviewed this one. This is a SOG Flash AT redo. Now, the SOG Flash, the older one, the mini one, the Flash 1, is the knife that kicked off TMP. Way, 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 way long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Where's my Darth Vader? Here he is. What do you have to say about that, Darth?
I have you now.
Right on.
What is my bidding, my master?
To do a KRV.
I want them alive.
Okay.
Don't underestimate the force.
Don't underestimate the coolness of a SOG knife redo, by the way. Nice tie-in, Nutton. Thank you. This one is fantastic. I'm in love with this. Of course, it's TMP Blue. Not a special edition. Just came out that way. Maybe they watched the project. Actually, I know they watched Project. They've told me as much. But TMP blue, XR lock, that's kind of like the Benchmade Axis lock. Same functionality in my mind. And stronger than the original Flash, it did gain weight. Okay, so I think TD and myself reviewed the Flash AT. Highly recommended. I will put some Blade HQ, Pro Second Amendment Blade HQ links below. Help yourself. I put some clear traction tape on here. Man, this is a cool blade. I just love it. So cool. I'll take the additional weight for the coolness. Now it's assisted opening. Stronger knife, way stronger than the originals. Deep carry clip. And we're going to see emergences of that same formula in this review. The Nut and Fancy tabletop review on the SOG Terminus XR. I bought this one back in January 2021. And I love this knife too. One thing I love about it is that it's super lightweight. 3.3 ounces on this. 2.75 inch blade. Clip blade. Round of applause. Hold on, I gotta put this down. Clip blades, I love them. I like drop points too. I like all types of different blade shapes, of course. But clip blades are some of my favorite. They're just so useful to have belly, strong tip. And another thing I love about this knife, besides the blade, and we'll look at it more closely here in a second, is that the handle is kind of long for the blade, I think, at least as I see it. It's not exactly 1-to-1, and I have talked about ratios before. TD and I have had discussions on it. I like that the handle's a little bit longer in this particular knife. It gives me more real estate to do my work. Speaking of which, the POU on the SOG Terminus XR is, of course, what? Where's my cone? Killing Sasquatches, Nut and Fancy. That is correct. It is designed to kill Sasquatches, first and foremost. And then when you're doing that, it functions as a great utility knife. Yeah, it's an EDC blade. And it's just the right size. Carries so nice. Look at that deep carry clip. So nice. SOG logo in this one. We've seen this clip before in some other SOG reviews. The redos that I've been covering. I've engraved that one. Really strong. No occlusions. Reversible from left to right. Really great ambi knives, these XRs. And all their flavors. The flashes. There's another one I'm going to show you. Oh, it is a flash. This one right here. This is a black flash in package. What do I have here? Use as a reference. Okay, cool. Note to self. Coming out of the knife bin in black. So that's a blue one. This is a black. Same thing. Great ambidextrous qualities. It's a flash. Dual thumb studs. Again, nice. It's not a long handle, but for the size of the knife, I think of it as a longer handle. I'll leave it at that. Notice on the handle also we have some chamfering, beveling, if you want to call it that, on the, in this version, really cool red G10 scales. I love the red G10 scales. They're so cool. You know me in colors. Black hardware except for the clip. And I think that's smart because the clip is matching the blade. Same with this Flash AT in blue. So these two things are matching, but they go with black fasteners, black XR lock, and I think the button on that is memmed metal. I could be wrong though. So these thumb studs you can take off too, guys, if you want to. You'll just use, you might mar them up a little bit. I'm just going to tell you that, but you probably shouldn't care if it's an EDC knife. Who cares? Use two sharp nose pliers that have good knurling on the inside of their jaws, and you can rotate these off. And then you'll have access to this flat portion for your Edge Pro Apex when you need to resharpen it. And the steel that we can see is cryoed D2. Cryo D2. They've been cryoing stuff for a long time. They did it with their Osate steels. It refines the grain structure. Is it super duper important for knife steel? I would say no. I don't think you'd tell a difference between a D2 cryo blade and one that isn't. But it's a marketing thing. It's a marketing advantage. They can brag about it, and I totally understand it. And I'll take it. It's not increasing the price. This is actually a pretty affordable knife at around 55 bucks currently. Nice logo right here. Let's check out that jimping. It's excellent on the SOG Terminus XR. Really nice, dude. Really nice. So two ways to deploy this one, just like the Flash. You got thumb studs, a little bit of an inclusion there with the G10 scales on it. Then you have the flipper tab, which I have my gloves on right now, but I was carrying it and I was like, it's not bad, but I might smooth it out just a little bit with some sandpaper. I don't know if that was the best deployment. Let me do it off camera. There we go. Much better. Much better. Lockup is solid. There's your stop pin on the Terminus. Look inside. Axis lock type lock, the XR, which means it's awesome. Again, ambidextrous and strong. I love axis lock. Sorry, SOG, XR lock is what I meant to say. Centering. Blade retention and handle is not an issue. This is not going to open in your pocket. A la Tenacious. Really nice. I love this knife. It's cool. Nylon backspacer or FRN, whatever they're making that out of. And you can see how that clip is attached. It goes deep in the handle. This is one reason it's so lightweight. Look at the milling. Huh. Someone is watching the Nut and Fancy Knife show. SOG is. Look, both sides. Well done, SOG. Well done. Remember, 3.3 ounces. That's well under my 4-ounce desire for an EDC knife. And guess what? I have some other versions on loan with Blade HQ. Thank you, Jake at Blade HQ, for these. Here comes an olive drab version in black. Sick. If I mar these up, I have to buy them, by the way. This one's mine. I purchased that one, like I said, in January. Here comes a satin finished olive drab, and I don't know why, but I really like how this one looks. I really like it. It's funny. I usually go with the black and, you know, just totally subdued look, but I love this one. And notice the stonewashing on that D2 steel. Really nice. And sometimes D2 is very hard to stonewash correctly. They did it right here. Now, I've checked the edges on these, and they're fantastic. You can see the grind is nice. It's not as nice as me. I mean, when I sharpen something, damn. Do I have any examples of that? No, let me see this Lightning if I've sharpened this. There you go. It's got some use on it, my TMP Lightning. That's a Nut and Fancy edge. That's coming off the Edge Pro Apex. See how that glistens in the moonlight? That is a Sasquatch Stabber Elite knife right there. Yeah, the old school, still totally excellent out the front Lightning blades. Oh my gosh, it makes me so excited when I see my edges. But you're not going to have to do any edge work on these. They're totally perfect out of box. Let me see. Am I going to show you a competitive option? I'll show you one. This is going to be more on the short side, this Caribbean, not feature length. How about the Tenacious, the Spyderco Tenacious in orange G10? Sick! Awesome. Speaking of blade retention, the knife that cut me years ago badly, the Tenacious. Yeah, this is a cool knife. Which one would I rather carry? Terminus, hands down. Are you surprised? Don't be. Don't be surprised, because I think the Terminus is, I like its blade style a little bit better. This one's more broad. I've always said that. I like a more elongated blade shape. There's not much you can't do utility task-wise or Bigfoot stabbing-wise with a clip blade of this sort. Really strong tip. Great steel choice. Great knife, dude. Great knife. Highly recommended. Thank you.